Hey everyone, what's going on? Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Justin and the NHL preseason, at least for the Toronto Maple Leafs, starts tomorrow. And you know what that means? It means it's time to get our hearts broken once again. No, it's not that time of year. That comes in May, April. But this time of year is really exciting because we get to see what this team will start shaping up to look like in a couple weeks' time for October 13th when the Leafs regular season starts. And obviously this time of year with the preseason is not so much about looking for wins. They're not important games as far as having points attached to them, but it is extremely important as far as getting chemistry, figuring out the team, getting the lines together, and also seeing what your prospects are able to do. So here are a few things that I'm really looking forward to keeping my eye on as we watch these games moving forward. Really quickly, I just want to shout out the fact that tomorrow we will have fans back in the building at Scotiabank Arena, which is truly so exciting. We haven't seen it since Game 7. That was the only game that we had the entire season last year where we had fans. There was very few in the building, and obviously it was very disappointing, the result of it. So we didn't get that same energy, and even though it won't be a full building tomorrow, I'm just so excited as a fan to be able to see other spectators in the building, see them cheering on this team again. I truly believe that this team needs a little bit of support, bring them up this year, and it's gonna be so exciting to watch the building actually have fans in Toronto this year. But moving on, this year's team, contrary to what I think a lot of people may believe, has tremendous amounts of depth to it. I think a lot of people have the impression that we've lost depth from last year, and we had good depth last year as well, especially in training camp moving forward. But this year in particular, it's crazy. So many guys competing for so little spots, and it's awesome to see. I really like it, and I encourage it, and I think that's Kyle Dubas's mantra all along. He loves getting too many guys for too few spots because it creates internal competition. And with the left side being the way it is, with the spots that opened up with Zach Hyman leaving, but they brought in so many different players that can play in those spots. I'm really excited to see how that shapes up and who ends up where. I know a lot of people are talking about right now Nick Ritchie taking some skates with Mitch Marner on his line. I ultimately don't think that's going to be where he ends up, but I'm excited to see how they can play in game together, how their style of game meshes with one another, and ultimately how they look in chemistry, because otherwise there's equal amount of other opportunities for Alex Kerfoot to step on Marner's wing, or Michael Bunting, or anybody else, truly, Ilya Mikheyev. And that's what I'm excited to see over the next few games. I want to see it start shaping up. People compete for a spot. Don't expect it to be given to you. If you want to play on that top line with Matthews and Marner, or Matthews and Nylander, or however they want to organize the top four, if you want to be with them, play your butt off. Show that you are willing to give the kind of effort that Zach Hyman gave every single game, every single shift. Because no, you can't replace Zach Hyman to a T, but all you're looking for there is effort, determination, tenacity, a player that will go get the puck, battle hard, give it to Matthews and Marner, and they could do the rest from there. So I'm excited to see how the left wingers, particularly Michael Bunting and Nick Ritchie, how those guys will end up. I'm also really excited for our prospects this year. No, we don't have as deep of a prospect pool as we might have had a couple of years ago, especially when like Matthews and Marner and Nylander were all recent draft picks. But we do have quite a few players that could ultimately in a few years sneak into maybe not like a first line or second line role, but a bottom six, and those are equally as important guys. And I'm excited to see how they're able to do against other NHL, AHL equivalent competition here in preseason. I'm looking at the likes of obviously Sandin and Liljegren taking a big step, as well as Nick Robertson really taking advantage of the opportunity he has. But more along the lines a little bit lower, where you're looking at like a Duzak or Christians Rubens or a Steves, those guys that are really battling for spots, not this year, but in the future. I want to see how their development goes in training camp, again, against better competition than they might otherwise see, because there will be some NHL players sprinkled into each lineup. And how do they fare? And then hopefully they can take that experience, bring it back to wherever they end up playing this year, and develop based on how they do this preseason. But most importantly, I've already said it, from every single player on the ice, what I'm looking for is effort. The result last year was just unacceptable. Everybody knows it. Everybody's harping on them. But it's a new season. It's a fresh start. But if you want to show me that you actually learned from that experience, I want you to play your butt off. And I don't care if it's preseason. I want you to act like you care to make it up, and that every single second on the ice is an opportunity to improve and develop. Even if you're Austin Matthews, who I know won't be playing many games in preseason, or John Tavares, who I know was hurt, but the big guys, I want them to show that they are taking steps to take every single game as seriously as they can. Pretend like every regular season game is a playoff game, and then that way when they make the playoffs, hopefully this year, they are able to exercise their demons from the past, move on, and actually have some killer instinct, if you will, something that everybody's regarded the Leafs as having a lack of. So I want to see that out of every shift, every second on the ice. And then again, I want to see how does the chemistry work. I myself am extremely curious on what the lines will end up being, because there's just so many different combinations you could do, which is a great thing. It's a great asset to have, that you can blend the roster at any given time. But to start the season, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like. So I'd like to see that unfold over the next few games here. Goes without saying, I am extremely excited that hockey season is back. I know it's only preseason, but any hockey's better than none. I'm looking forward to seeing the Leafs out there. I'm looking forward to hearing the crowd. Hopefully they have some energy in the building, but we're only a couple weeks away from the regular season starting. Can't wait for it. Love to hear what you are looking for out of these preseason games. Not expecting much, but I am expecting effort. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you in the next one.